Coronavirus could be much more contagious than previously thought. Chinese officials warn infected patients can spread the virus before showing symptoms. And coronavirus outbreak death toll rises in China as U.S. plans evacuations from Wuhan. They're going to bring it on home. Coming up next on Deceptions of the Ages News. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Deceptions of the Ages News. Please hit that subscribe button if you like this content and ring that bell. Now, on with our coronavirus update. In Changing America, coronavirus could be much more contagious than previously thought. Story at a glance. Officials say they have limited knowledge about the virus and the risks posed by its mutations, except that, as we saw in our previous story, it came out of a weapons facility. At least 81 are dead in China, and more than 2,700 are confirmed to be infected. Some health experts estimate up to 100,000 people could be infected. Chinese officials are warning that the deadly coronavirus could be much more contagious than initially thought, as infected patients can spread the flu-like illness before showing any symptoms. We saw that in our past stories. Chinese National Health Commissioner Minister Ma Zhaohui announced during a press conference Sunday the virus is infectious during its incubation period of 1 to 14 days, and its ability to spread is increasing. The officials said authorities have limited knowledge on the new virus and are unclear on the risks posed by the mutations of the virus. A long-time advisor to the U.S. Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, Dr. William Schaffner, told CNN the new development means the infection is much more contagious than we originally thought, even though they knew it came from a weapons production facility. Schaffner called it a game changer and warned current preventative methods won't be enough to fight off the outbreak, since tracking down the contacts a patient had before experience symptoms complicates the situation. At least 81 people have died in China as a result of the coronavirus, and more than 2,700 others have been infected in more than a dozen countries, including 5 confirmed cases so far in the U.S. At least 60 people were being tested in the U.S. for the disease as well. Officials expect more deaths and infections to follow. A public health expert at London's Imperial College estimates there could be 100,000 people already infected with the coronavirus in China's Hubei province. Professor Neil Ferguson told CBS News a lot more information will become available in the next few days and weeks, and case numbers will continue to increase rapidly. Ferguson said the fast multiplying figures do not necessarily represent a huge growth rate of the epidemic. It is much more likely down to the health authorities catching up with efforts to accurately diagnose a brand new illness. A combined population of more than 50 million people are on lockdown in China in at least 16 cities as Chinese authorities scramble to curb the spread of the virus. Authorities believe the virus spread into the human population from an infected animal at a market in the Chinese city of Wuhan. Now, meanwhile, in the U.S., Coronavirus, this is CBS News. Coronavirus outbreak, death toll rises in China as U.S. plans evacuations from Wuhan. Yes, bring that disease on over here. Because the Chinese are allowing in just doesn't seem to be enough to spread it. The U.S. government was racing Monday to evacuate Americans from the city at the center of the deadly coronavirus outbreak in China. As China sends medical reinforcements into Wuhan, officials there warned the virus was spreading faster. At least 81 people have died in China from the new virus, officially dubbed 2019 novel coronavirus. And that's 2019 NCOV. In parentheses, more than 2,700 others have been infected in more than a dozen countries, including 5 confirmed cases in the U.S. More than 60 additional people in the U.S. were being tested for the disease. Public health officials from the U.S. and China have warned people to expect many more infections, and there have been unconfirmed claims from anonymous health workers in China that many thousands more in their government is acknowledging could already be infected. What is the novel coronavirus? Here's everything you need to know. As CBS News respondent Rami somebody reports, the rapidly mounting cases were making everyone in China nervous, with Wuhan and at least 16 other cities still locked down Monday in a bid to stem the spread of the virus. A combined population of more than 50 million people were under travel restrictions in China as of Monday. Authorities believe the virus, which causes flu-like symptoms, likely spread into the human population from an infected animal at a market in Wuhan. Officials have confirmed that the virus has been transmitted person to person, but it remains unclear how easy it is to contract from another infected individual, and most virtually all cases thus far can be traced back to Wuhan. Now, China's capital reports first case of new coronavirus. Beijing authorities on Monday reported the Chinese capital's first death from a newly deadly virus that has rapidly spread across the country, killing more than 80 people and causing global alarm. The victim was a 50-year-old man who had visited the central city of Wuhan, the epicenter of the outbreak, on January 8th and developed a fever after returning to Beijing. 7 days later, the city's health commission said. He went to a hospital January 21st and died on Monday of respiratory failure, the commission said. A total of 80 more than 2,700 cases have been recorded in the Chinese capital of 20 million people. All right, and what should we notice about all of this, besides the fact that the U.S. is trying to spread this as fast as possible amongst its own population, is that today we have another day of a sham impeachment trial where they're trying to overthrow our president and keep people's attention away from this. Meanwhile, the government is trying to bring this in as fast as possible, and people are continuing to die. So that's your coronavirus update for today. And it is Monday, and it is January 26th or 27th, 2020. January 27th, looking at the phone. All right, you guys, this is Deceptions of the Ages News. Be careful out there. Stay away from crowded places. Watch out for infected populations, and God willing, we'll see you next time.